I'm Tur Strongman at the Rankir Amaturaka. Thank you for selecting this video on the 3 in a row thing and how to use it. Before continuing, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please take the time to do so now. While you're at it, also activate the notification bell feature. Share the joy of the channel with others. If you like this video, give it a thumb up. If you don't like it, give it your other thumb up. Comment courteously below. Now, what is the 3 in a row thing? The 3 in a row thing occurs in various forms. Usually, it's words we either read or hear. That's the case that most often is most easily recognizable by us. You know, phrases like life, liberty, and happiness, the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Bing, bang, boom. Or the names of law firms. Can we cheat them and how? Irwin, Irwin, and Irwin, etc. Okay. But these things have an importance to us now. And that's what I want to get to. I want to describe characteristics, the pattern-making capacity of them, things to be aware of, how to use them wisely, and how to use them constructively. Okay. Now, let me talk about a few other ways that these things, modes in which these things can appear in your life. You can make them up yourself, whether or not you're aware of it. So you can make them up yourself. They can be self-generated, let's say, or they can come into your senses from the outside world. In other words, they were generated elsewhere and came into your sphere of awareness. Okay? But now, it doesn't have to be within your sphere of awareness, just into your mind, into your perceptions of things. You might not notice, but they can either come from outside or you can generate them yourself. That's my immediate point. Next, these things can happen below your awareness or within your awareness, in your awareness, to your awareness, or not to your awareness. Either way they come, from self-generated or from the outside. And they can be intentional or otherwise. They can be on purpose or otherwise. Okay? They can be, let's say, voluntary. That's what I'm after. Voluntary or otherwise. Involuntary. Let's say you're creating one yourself, but you don't know you're doing it. And, a 3 thing in a row thing. Or you could be doing it voluntarily, like willingly, because you want to. Or you can do it to your awareness, but not because you want to. You don't want to, but you're doing it. All right? These different modes of appearing in your world. All right. There's 3 different classifications. Where's it coming from? Are you aware of it? Are you doing it voluntarily? But now here's another difference that they can have. It can be 3 things in a row, a repeat of the same thing. An occurrence of one thing and 2 repeats of that same thing. 3 in a row. Or it can be 3 in a row of related things. Related things. Okay? Here's what they do. Let me give you an example of the first one. I feel calm. Now, if I say that to myself. Here I'm doing it to my awareness. I'm doing it voluntarily. And it's coming from me. I say to myself, I feel more calm. And now from there I say it again. I feel more calm. And the third time, I feel more calm. Same thing. But it's 3 in a row. Here are 3 different things. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Or we fight for honor. We fight for justice. We fight for freedom. Do you notice they kind of set up a pattern? And it takes that many to do it? And to go further is not necessary? Because you kind of know what would be next in line? Or because you know the general theme, and you can see which direction it's going because you have 3 in a row. That's why. 3 in a row of something. Whether it's just the same thing or a sequence of related things. Set up a pattern. Like, let's take the numbers. If I say the number 1, and I ask you, what's next in line? If there's going to be a second one, and we're going to have we're going to follow a pattern here. What's the second one? What's the next digit? What's the next number? Well, you don't know. There's been no movement from 1 to anywhere. So how could you even have the traces of knowing what's going to be next? I mean, you have to be able to see a sequence, a pattern. You got to be able to see a pattern, right? Well, with 1, you don't know. What if I say 1 followed by 2? What's next? Well, you're still not sure. You don't know for sure. It could be 3, 1, 2, 3, or it could be 4, 1, 2, 4. They both follow a pattern. I'm starting with 1 and 2. But if I say 1, 2, 3, now what's next? Now you know. It's going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I say 1, 2, 4, what's next? You know it's going to be 8. 1, 2, 4, 8. I'm doubling the value of each number as I go to the next one. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, right? 32. Because we know the pattern. It took 3 to do it. And in the case of something like in a political speech, we do it for honor. We do it for justice. And we do it for freedom. If the person doesn't stop there and wait for the effect of that pattern to sink in, they're blowing it. They're saying too much. They've overdone it. The impact, the meaning, the direction, the content, the theme of it, the spirit of the thing is established by 3 in a row. It's a pattern. It's a mentally recognized pattern. It's a mentally generated pattern. And it points to a pattern. Because remember, the language is symbols. They point to something else in the real world. And if it's a real pattern, which it is, you can test it by knowing what's next, given the pattern, right? Knowing what would be next in line, or the general spirit of what's next in line, if it's abstract things. If it's digits, you know which one exactly. Because you know the content, you know the theme of it all, and you see and you know which direction it's going, and you know how it's getting there. The kinds of steps being taken, the size of them, whatever applies. The quality of them, whatever it is. It's 3 in a row, okay? Now, be aware, once again, many of these come from the outside world. Many of them come without us being aware of it. And many of them may come to us without us volunteering to let them in. Some come from within us without us knowing. Some come with us knowing. But whether it's a voluntary thing happening, that's another question yet. That's yet another matter. Okay? So, some of these can be very helpful. Let's take a look at a few. Well, where did I have them? I had some written down here. But where? Let me see. I'm going to look some up. I'm going to look up a few. I'll give you some real examples here. I already gave a couple with the political thing, but let me see what I have here. Maybe this is it. Yeah. All right. How about this threes thing? This is a good one, right? Stop, drop, and roll. We know what that is, right? What to do if your body catches on fire or your clothes catch on fire, right? Stop, drop, and roll. Okay, we might teach that to a child. Okay? Stop, drop, and roll. That's when most people learn it these days, when they're children. How about one to teach to the same child, same year of life, same age, maybe 4 years old, okay? Wipe, flush, and spray. There's one for you. Wipe, flush, and spray. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, for honor, for justice, for freedom. Okay, how about a couple of things that apply to the main work here on this channel? Your personal evolvement. Let's say you're going to self-generate some of these now that you know how they work, what their function is, and pattern making. Maybe you want to establish some mental patterns. Maybe you want to construct them the way you want the pattern to work. Maybe you make the pattern, okay? All right? So you say something like, hey, I like all this the Ron Q. Ramacharaka stuff. I want to make up a couple of 3 in a rows for myself, that I can just kind of like let run over and over in my mind, and I'll make them up. And there'll be things that work. Patterns that actually, like once I establish the pattern, once I say it, I'm going to recognize that's a real pattern. Yeah, things do work like that. I'm doing this in correspondence with reality. Like, hey, maximize your performance, evolve your life, act now. How about that? Maximize your performance, evolve your life, act now. Not bad, right? Not bad. You could use that. You could put it to work. This is how to use them. This is the how to use them part. Desire, will, and do. Well, there's another thing hey, that really works. That really is a pattern. I mean, for God's sakes, it really is a thing. That is a 3 in a row thing. It's real. I just happened to pick that one out and put it into words. I could have used other words to mean similar things. How about verbalize, visualize, and actualize? Verbalize, visualize, and actualize. That's really a pattern that does exist. We could break it into other parts. They could have had other names. We could turn verbalize into 3 of its own. A pattern within it. That add up to verbalize. We could have picked a broader picture and put, so that, if you break down one of the 3 that we come up with, we get verbalize, visualize, and actualize. But that's just one of the 3. We picked this, right? So we're generating it. It's true. It's something true. And it's a pattern. It is a pattern. All right? We can see where it's going. You don't have to go further with it. To go further with it would kind of move us into the next thing, because we have now established the pattern. One more, a 4th in the sequence here, doesn't further make the pattern. The pattern is set. The 4th one is going to start repeating the pattern. Or evolving it to some other thing, like building in another pattern, so that once we get 3 of these, sub-patterns going in a row, then we repeat all of that 3 times or 2 times more, Something, like we've established the pattern. 3, that's what it is. But these can work in a bad way for us too. Destructively, not constructively. Toward our devolvement rather than our evolvement. Take these last 2 examples. Footsteps, chainsaw, dead. Footsteps, chainsaw, dead. How about that? Yeah, well, enough of that kind of thinking in life. Falling in step with a lot of those in life could make you, first of all, in some way in your life, someday, somehow, in a small detailed picture of affairs or a big overall trend, victim, sucker, loser. You understand the sequence there? Let's say you're getting caught up in a money scam. It's your first time. Never ran into it before. You're kind of a victim of wrongdoing. You're ignorant of the facts. Never encountered it. No experience. And then you run into the same thing again and you do it again. Well, you've moved beyond victim of wrongdoing. You become a sucker for wrongdoing now. If you do it again, well, now that's 3 in a row, isn't it? Now you have a pattern. And therefore, you've moved not only beyond victim of wrongdoing, and moreover, beyond sucker for wrongdoing. Now you're a loser in wrongdoing. You're just a loser of wrongdoing. You're done wrong. And you're a loser. That's the pattern. So be careful. Become aware of the 3 in a row thing. Use it constructively and use it wisely. If you recognize destructive triplets happening like this in your life or coming into your senses, change the story. Stop paying attention to them. Stop letting them in. Move on, replace them with something that's opposite, moving in the opposite direction. Something. Because they work. You know why they work? Because they do. That's a way things work. That's why. So what I'm talking about here is a real thing. Make it work for you. How about that? There you go. Like the video? Thumb up. Didn't like it? Other thumb up. Subscribe to the channel. Activate the notification bell feature. Comment courteously below. Share the joy of the channel with others. I'm Tim Strongman. This is the Ron Q. Ramacharaka. Thank you for selecting this video on the 3 in a row thing and how to use it.